there's something so magical for all of the times that I fail, the seemingly infinite times that I fail in my relationship to my children and my wife. There is a joy, almost nearing rapture, that comes from a moment where I catch myself. And you could just see a fork in a road where you were about to go down a real brambly, dark path. Yeah. And you just shift it.
Yeah.
And that's clean power.
Welcome to the Peaceful Pop-Up Podcast. I'm Ravi, your host. Together, we'll slow down, breathe, and explore grounded fatherhood with greater peace and presence. I'm grateful you're here. Enjoy the show. Cool. Well, welcome to the Peaceful Pop-Up Podcast. I'm your host, Ravi Rothenberg. And with me today, I have Jordy Cohen. Jordy? Awesome. Jordy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
fun to be here.
Yeah, good. Well, hopefully we'll have some fun. I think one of the things I've been reflecting on is when people hear this word peace, there either is an aversion, like, oh, I don't have peace, or there's like, oh, actually, I'm really attached to my suffering, my pain, so this peace thing feels really, really far away. So fun, lightness, definitely qualities that we want to bring to this conversation. As we get started, I want to meet you on a deeper level. I could read your bio and your LinkedIn profile, but I'd like to meet you in a different way.
Yeah.
So are you open for a brief exercise?
Totally, which is fun because I feel like we know each other in so many ways. Can't wait.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to play a game called Head, Heart, Hara. Okay.
Cool.
Are you familiar with the Hara?
I was waiting for gut, but I don't know Hara.
Gut is the westernized term for Hara. Hara comes from Japan. It is that space that lives about two fingers below the navel. Mm-hmm. It is your energetic center. When you were born and birthed, that's kind of where your umbilical cord energy was really, really harnessed. And throughout life, it's been my experience that we can get disconnected from our Hara, our power center, our truth, that brain-gut connection. And if you're feeling like, actually, I'm pretty in tune with my gut, maybe your Hara is quite online. But yeah, energy center, sexual center, a lot of power from the Hara. But to get to the Hara, first we have to go through our heart and our head. Okay.
Cool.
So as there's a psychosomatic quality to this exercise. Again, the intention is to get to know you on a deeper level. Cool. And so we'll oversimplify your entire being into these three parts: head, heart, Hara. From your head, you're going to speak factual information. And I'll give you a chance. We'll go through 3 quick rounds and you'll have a chance to speak from each place. From the head is only where facts exist. Where you're from, your name, your family history, your occupation, what you studied in school, just facts, okay? From there, we'll have a chance to drop down to the heart. From the heart space, we can speak from I feel. You'll have about 30 seconds to speak from a feeling place, okay? When we've honored both of those, then we're ready for the Hara, your gut. At the core of your being, what do you want? Okay. Cool. All right. If at any point too you're like losing touch with what wants to come through, you can close down the eyes. You can make it really personal.
Fun.
Cool.
Yeah, let's play.
All right. A little vulnerable.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. You guys ready to meet Jordy on a deeper level? Awesome. All right. Let's start with a hand on the forehead, just to remind us that that's where we're speaking from. And when you start speaking, I'll start energetically timing.
Jordy Cohen, husband, father, son, younger brother. coach, leader shows up as a one-on-one coach with high performers, CEOs, all forms of leaders. And I also am an entrepreneur.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Cool. Younger brother. Do you have older brother or sister?
Older brother.
Older brother.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. I have 2 younger sisters. I always wanted a brother. So
Yeah. Yeah.
creating brotherhood as an adult.
Yeah. That makes sense.
All right. Let's drop down to the heart space. Okay. And you can fill in the blank, I feel. You can give us as much or as little story with each feeling as you like.
Yeah. Feeling buzzy. Fun to be here with you. That's the story attached to it. Love like the production. It's kind of fun to be in this space and have the excuse to connect in this way with you. Really open and expansive. Yeah. Feeling very wide. Yeah. Just kind of like an excitement, creative excitement there. So yeah, really, really pleasant.
Wonderful. Feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel you take up space just by your expansiveness. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. It's taken a while for me to step into that a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys ready to meet Jordy's the core of his being? See what is really alive for him in this moment?
Yeah, I am.
You are, right? It's kind of edgy, like, oh, who am I right now? What do I want? So we'll drop from the hand, from the chest to the just below the navel. Take a nice belly breath into your hara, your energetic center, and fill in the blank. I want. You can just keep going. I want and I want. What do you really want?
Yeah. The words that come forward are like authentic expression, bigness taps into that. There's,
thank you.
I can feel myself wanting to pull up on that. Yeah, there's just a deep want for the fullest expression of self. Right now that shows up most notably professionally, like how's this new way of being in the world and my vocation going to manifest? I'm really drawn to mastery and proficiency and just being that way. And similarly on the home front, like my family's just a wonderful teacher for me. And I just so want that fullness to perpetuate and continue. So yeah, authentic expression, most want.
Wonderful. Feel that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope feel like you have permission to be as authentically, fully, bigly expressed here in our conversation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Full permission to do so. We have a few topics that we'll explore that I think are areas of mastery for you in the stage of life that you're at, that could really benefit whoever's listening. But really, just for the benefit of us getting to excavate what's most alive for you.
Yeah. Cool.
Give me a sense of, I'd love to hear a little story in terms of your stage of being a papa, what's, like you said, being, having mastery at home. Your family is some of your greatest teachers right now. How'd you get to where you're at and what are you learning?
Yeah. So I got to where I'm at, but step one was meeting my partner, over a decade ago. I feel very fortunate that I have such an extraordinary partner. She's awesome. I'm a huge fan. I jokingly say pretty much every year, like I get to say the same 3 words, I love you. And it just continues to have new meaning all the time. And so it is an interesting journey for how we came to be parents, despite committing pretty much my entire life to health in all spheres, we'll say. I found out in my 20s that I was a half step to being infertile. And there was actually a period where I wasn't sure I would be able to have kids.
Wow.
Which is...
What was that like to receive?
In the parking lot of my work from the doctor on the phone type thing. That was a harsh moment.
Wow.
Yeah. Really destabilizing, really scary, really sad. Didn't have all the tools at the time on how to
And you were with your now wife at the time?
Yeah. I mean, we were trying to have kids. We knew we wanted to, but it was, there was also just experiences with friends and family around infertility. We went and got all the analyses done and all the tests. And I'm really vocal about it and very transparent about it, because oftentimes when people talk about infertility, they immediately go to mom. And that's just brutally unfair.
Yeah.
Especially for any parent who wants to be, any person who wants to be something, to just have that default, I think is just really unkind. Also untrue.
Yeah.
And so, I found out I was half step to being infertile, despite committing my life to health and all the things.
Wow.
Yeah. So really intense. And then doctors telling me, hey, likely not going to happen. We actually moved to Colorado around that time. And fortunately met some incredible doctors who put us on the path of IVF, and we have 2 beautiful children. And both of their birth experiences were just portals. So any one of these things we can double tap on, and go deep in. But the path to becoming a father was, I guess the silver lining of IVF in so many ways. It's not even a silver lining. I mean, the reality is that was my way of being able to bring life into this world. And the other piece was like, if you want to be a parent,
it tests you. Like,
right.
You want this that bad?
Right. You can't stumble into calling the doctor and getting all these procedures. It's not something that you just find yourself going through the motions around. And so there's like an intentionality and a reaffirming element to each step of it. And in many ways, like the heartbreak and the sadness at each stage of, it's like a marathon of probabilities is the only way to describe it. I mean, there's many ways to describe it, but
let's pause just for a moment. I want to honor just your journey. I didn't know that about you, so thank you for sharing.
Totally.
Again, on the surface, I see this like strapping, healthy man. I'm like, oh, of course he's fertile. So I again appreciate that you're like totally owning that actually not as fertile as I thought. Did you ever have a moment in the IVF process where you did press pause and zoom out and like, how badly do we want this? And if so, what did that teach you?
Yeah. It's interesting. There was never a moment as soon as we started down the path of having children where I wondered if I wanted to have children. That's not for everybody, but I knew I wanted to have kids.
How old were you when you knew that you wanted to have kids?
I grew up in like a really healthy, stable home, and it was really idyllic and lovely. And so I don't think there was ever like I wonder if I'm going to have kids. It was like, I can't wait to do this thing.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
And I remember when Casey and I were dating, it's my wife, Casey, for all listening, but
shout out to Casey.
Yeah. I remember when we were dating and she had looked at me at one point and she was like expressing her enthusiasm for being a mom.
Yeah.
And I remember being so turned on by that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, we're like,
we're going to do this.
Yes. Thing. Yeah. Like, so it was interesting at that point, even young, being attracted to that. And I just always wanted to have kids. Yeah.
I knew from a young age that I wanted kids. I wanted the experience of fatherhood and of raising a child or children, and like all of the messiness and the chaos and uncertainty that creating a family would bring for me. Because again, being vulnerable here, my childhood home was not this like beacon of health and stability.
Yeah.
It was quite the opposite. And if you know the ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, my score is quite high. And the higher your ACEs score, the higher likelihood of depression, suicide, incarceration, addiction, like all the things were kind of stacked against me in terms of like creating a healthy, stable home. So I've again, and that's part of my journey of hosting a podcast and wanting to be more vocal myself about all of the layers that a man will go through on his journey towards fatherhood.
Yeah. I do think, and I appreciate you sharing that. I do think there was an orientation early in my life where I wanted kids as if I was on the moving walkway of life. And at some point you have children. And then mid-20s, that changed into a much more autonomous, high agency, full capacity, prefrontal cortex online going, I want children. So I think there's a relationship to that decision that I don't think there was ever a moment where I wasn't sure if I wanted children. Yeah. But the relationship to that want certainly changed. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a strong program around, oh yeah, I'm 26, I'll have 2 kids. Right. By the time I'm 30, I'll have 4 in the house, all the things.
Totally.
Like that
totally.
that program is strong.
Yeah.
I think that ties nicely into where we can start to explore here too is in our pre-podcast conversation, just talking about dogma. Remember that?
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to tap into what's alive for you when, and again, we were, I think, both raised culturally Jewish. There's some strong dogma there. How do I, as a peaceful papa, the leader of my family, how do I create a deeper connection to something meaningful in conjunction and dancing with dogma?
Oh, fun. So much there. So I'm going to tackle it first, like linearly. It's kind of what's coming up around just like dogma and religion, how that like unfolds into spirituality for me. And then we'll talk about Papa in that. So yeah, raised Jewish, Jordan Cohen, right?
Jordan Rothenberg.
Right. Hello.
Nice
right. And I was that kid in Hebrew school being like, hey, what's going on here? like question. And they give me an answer and I go, okay. Scratch head. Go home, ask mom and dad. They go, well, that's just kind of how it is. I'm like, okay. He's everywhere. Like those types of things. And I really appreciated right. I really appreciated the metaphor, and I really appreciated the learnings and also the culture. Like I felt so psychologically safe. I felt so on a path. Right. And I think that's really important. There's a purpose to a path. Right. And at some point I became like early 20s. I jokingly call it like my Simba in the jungle with Timon and Pumbaa eating bugs moment, my montage moment, where I just became, I was through with it. I threw it out the window, pronounced atheist, not in a burn it all to the ground, but in a freedom of ideas way. And I was very I was very excited about secularity and rationality and just like an intellectual experience of life. What I came to realize and still coming to realize is how that allowed me to really avoid my heart in many ways. It allowed me to stay up in my head and not really touch into my felt experience.
The intellectual pursuit?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask me probably 10 years ago, what do I most want? Was very vocal, even like with my Buddhist psychotherapist. I want a secular path. I want to be able to cleanly pursue spirituality without dogma, without the religiosity? Like, what does ritual and ceremony look like without
going to the temple?
Or what is
high holy days?
Right. What does community look like without the fear?
Yeah.
Right. Without truly just a reverence for connection, and to really be in awe, to really sit in wonder. Like, I think I threw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, when it came to no religion. And now I'm sitting here going, wow, it'd be great to get together every week and talk about how wild this is. Right. Or to see that someone's celebrating life and somebody else is celebrating death. Like, there's just something about the human experience that religion does really right. But I felt that the cost was too high to my intellectual and rational freedom. Right.
And the story I'm hearing is that you were giving up. When you say the cost was too high, the story I'm hearing is that you were giving up your ability to really feel like the pulses of life, or to feel, a vulnerability of like authenticity. Yeah.
I would say, like, if we were to, like, religion felt like my brain was offline, and complete secularity, rationality, my heart was offline. Right. Like, there was just, I want something that blends both of those. And I found a lot of insight from Buddhism and Stoicism. Yeah. Those two began to, like, triangulate around what I was into. Sure. And started to find my path there. And what I realized, for me at least, was a lot of it just kind of comes down for me around, like, taking responsibility for my life. I was really looking for someone to give it to me. I was really looking for someone to give it to me, but I wanted the freedom.
Well, that's what maybe is being born into a religion and a culture, and then the expectation that, you'll just continue down this path. There is a quality of ease with that. If you commit to, like, okay, this is my thing, I'm not going to think outside of those lines. This is easy.
Yeah. And I also think, Judaism does a really good job of, like, helping people graduate, right? Like, you look at psychology, the sciences, the arts, the Jubus of the 60s and 70s. A lot of people came out of the Jewish traditions. And what I wanted was, like, not to have it be a degree or two of separation. Like, I just want the direct path. Like, I love that with Stoicism and Buddhism, you're just reading source text and it still makes sense. There's no analog required. There's no Rosetta Stone needed to translate it into what's here. And so a lot of this, and this has just been this fun edge that I've been recently playing with, I was talking about it with Casey last night, actually, is just kind of being, going from human doing to human being. And religion and dogma is a lot of doing. I'm doing this so that one day I'm getting this payoff.
Interesting.
Right.
Yes. It's like, I was yesterday on a coaching call in a separate container, going through the NLP triangle, dilts. Sorry, just learned it.
Yeah.
But the doing versus the being.
Right.
And then flipping that on its head.
Right. And so the doing immediately creates scarcity, because you're like, I don't have it. I need to go do something to get it. And it becomes this, got to go get it. And then I'll be complete. And then I'll be enough. Right. Like, by default, you're putting yourself in a posture of lack. Yeah. And it's a radical shift to be a human being. And what's nice is you are one. So good luck trying to not. But when I really drop back in, and that's like my main move is really, I get a lot of energy going out. Right. And so coming back into my being, what happens is, like, now enoughness is just a symptom, because it's all here. Can't possibly be anywhere else. And so the dogma is not something I need to examine or explain. It's not something I need to, like, prosecute, so to speak. Yeah. It just kind of evaporates. Like, if that is true, all right, I'm not going to operate by that way. Yeah. That just is not aligned for me. Now I'm just going to be kind.
That's just the quality of your being.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't require.
So what are you going to do?
Right. It doesn't require that contract.
Yeah. And then too, from that top top-down approach of like, okay, I'm going to be first. I'm going to be kind and present and peaceful and benevolent and generous, all these qualities of being, then the doing just happens by your nature unfolding with life itself.
Yes. Now, what I will say coming into the fatherhood element, right, is in many ways, I'm sure like a lot of people who I respect and admire could unpack dogma in so many different ways and far more useful ways than I'm doing here. But what I will say is some of these contracts will show up as a father when I'm doing before being. Mm-hmm. And so I think this, when I say human being, it has this like, even as I say, it can feel ambiguous and vague. And Can
you ground it in for us with
an
example? Yeah. Make it really real.
So first we'll talk about like what human doing looks like as a father and the contracts that it implies. So when I am in that doing mode, it creates a conditionality. Like, hey, let's do this and then, right?
Give me an example if you can.
Hey, let's clean up our toys and then we can do this. Hey, let's come over here and then we could do this. Hey, let's do this thing. Here's a contract, and if we do it, you will get more from me. It's conditional love.
Yeah.
It's conditional love. And even if I don't feel that way or want to be that way, unconsciously I am being that way.
Whew. Let's pause there.
Yeah.
Because I want to share too. I was in conversation with another dad just a few days ago on a camping trip, and we were talking about this dynamic of like giving our hearts and being loving fathers. And without going too much into his background, he basically shared like, I'm conflicted with how much love to show and offer to my child. And for me, it was a dagger to my belly of like, oh, that hurts to hear. From my quality of my being, I have a tremendous amount of love to give, and I would love my challenge is like not giving or like doing things other than just giving love.
Yes.
So that there are boundaries, and there's some, like I'm still your parent and I just want to love up on you so much.
Yes. Yeah. I do think when it comes to those elements though, I'm super smushy with my kids.
Okay? I could see that. Yeah.
I will totally take my baby girl. She's 9 months old now. And I will just like literally eat her face. Okay. I have no problem with that. Yeah. That being said, I do think that there are elements when I think about how I hear that, there's a sadness that I feel around feeling the need to confine or bound our love. Right. That to me, there's a sadness there and a pain. Like,
yeah.
I also can see how that's true when we are doing love versus being loving. And so I think about the person who's showing appreciation versus showing flattery. Like, who are you doing this for? Are you doing this because you want your kids to know that you're a good father who loves them? Or are you loving them in the way that they need and want right now?
Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's these moments too as dads where like when nobody's watching, when it's just you in the living room or the playroom with your kid, with your son, and being genuine, like really not like, oh, someone's watching me play, so like I'm supposed to do this thing a certain way. I think the reality for a lot of dads is that there's this, there's a tension. Right in front of me is the being that needs me most for these core memories, for just like to have someone to play with. And then there's also my phone.
Right.
My phone is like either in my pocket, it might even be in my hand while I'm like engaging with my kid, or it's like just right there, just like be with me.
Yes.
Take my attention away from the thing that I'm claiming is the most important thing to me.
Yes. Yes. What comes up for me as you say that, Ravi, is there is the doing. What am I doing versus how am I being? So there's the content of, I'm playing with my magnet tiles with my son. There's been plenty of times I've been playing magnet tiles fully distracted, going, look at me, gold star, playing with magnet tiles when I don't want to play magnet tiles. I'm a great dad. And then I'm resentful and pretty, crappy about it. I was going to swear, but it doesn't seem aligned with peaceful papa. podcast.
Full authentic expression. If you need to drop,
I don't know if people are listening to this with kids, so
I hope they are.
yeah.
Sit down with your kids, listen to the podcast.
Right. So
make some popcorn.
We'll pause on the curse words for now, but then there's times where I'm playing with magnet tiles and I'm fully connected with my son.
And you feel the difference?
Yes. And so this is where, and I will also say, like, to this flavor of, I'm afraid to love, like, I just don't want to give them too much love. To me, sometimes I can feel myself tip over into an overcommitting or an overextension with my children. And this is where I think, like, when I say my family is my greatest teacher, it's like I'm in this secure, loving, safe environment that we've built, right? And I take a lot of pride in that, a lot of joy in that container, so to speak. But I know, like a lot of it is like doing my own work here, right? And I think a lot of it gets masked as self-care, or you got to treat yourself right. And that's true. But similarly, like, there's been plenty of times I've gone for a bike ride where I am taking care of myself. And there's plenty of times I go for a bike ride where I'm fully suppressing my emotions as a means of feeling differently. And so that is the flavor when I think about being a dad. I'm with this being who unconditionally loves me. I mean, maybe there's some conditions of, like, keep me alive. But I experience unconditional love from my son and daughter. If I can feel when I'm being conditional, which is like, please get in the car. Right.
And that you have an agenda.
Right.
And a timeline and a schedule. And is that for you where it's like, okay, am I doing here? Like, there's a doing that has to be done.
Right. Right. But it becomes like, the doing is going to happen. The doing comes, right? Like, we're going to get in the car.
And there's a way.
There's a way of doing that. And I don't know the answer, but I certainly know what isn't for me. And so what doesn't work is when I am demanding and really short, really fast. Okay. And what I will say is, it's going to happen. It happens all the time. It happens the majority of the time. Okay.
Your shortness?
Yes. Right. Because got to get to work and blah, 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 right? All the things.
Totally.
But it's also all here for my learning too. And so this isn't about eradicating stress. It's not about eradicating the moments of tension. It's just about allowing them and being with them differently.
Allowing them, being with them differently. I'm going to even selfishly use the word infuse. If I can infuse awareness and some quality of, like, peacefulness or presence, or just a bit of gentleness, actually. For me, sometimes when I'm short, like, there's this tension in me that, like, even if I don't like put my hand on my daughter, just like she can just feel when there's a tension in me. And, also I will say that it's important when I think about it as a father, I want my children to see, like, to learn a lot from my example. I don't know. I'm still kind of in the space of, do I want to be a teacher? I really just want to be dad. But I do want them to learn from my example. And growing up in this wonderful, loving home, I didn't really experience anger a lot. I also didn't see it on example. And so for a while, as a father and as a husband, I had a what do I do with this?
Huge bias against anger. If I was angry, something was wrong. And now I'm sitting here going, holy smokes, I hope Forrest, my son, gets to see what healthy anger looks like. That to me is also loving. Like, loving doesn't have an emotional expression.
Yes.
Right.
Loving can accept and hold all the emotions. In its warm embrace.
Totally. And I just to double down on that for listeners, right, is that you can look at any one of those emotions and find extraordinary loving expressions of that emotion. MLK, Gandhi, there was anger there, expressed lovingly, like transformed by love.
I mean, on the great spectrum, if deep love is one side, and deep pain, anger, grief is the other side of that. So ultimately, if you want to experience one, you have to move through the other. I was really triggered, I think a week or two ago. I may have even shared this in an earlier episode. Really triggered I had just hung up a punching bag in the garage, and I gifted myself. I was like, pause, run outside, like hit the bag. My daughter followed me outside, and she's laughing hysterically. She thought it was so funny. In that moment, I also like some of the tension that was built up in my system was already dissolved just by a few, like, just the act of removing myself, punching the punching bag. And then she came out and thought it was the most hilarious thing. And then good. I also found the lightness. I was like, this is funny if Daddy's doing this.
Yes.
But yeah, just to the point of like exposing her to that.
Yeah.
And meeting it with love instead of like being attached to, I'm angry, I need to stay angry for some period of time, and I'm going to inflict my anger on you.
Right.
You want to get in your car seat? I'll show you how to get in the car seat.
Right. And yeah, and there's like a comedy in parenting when like comes with that, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's Seth Meyers actually had a wonderful bit. He's like, I'm going to botch it, but it was like, do I abuse my children? No. Do I sometimes take their sweatshirts off a little too fast? It's like so good. But I'm a big fan of like one of the transformative teachers for me has been the Conscious Leadership Group. Mm-hmm. I've been following their work for many years.
Can you say the name again?
The Conscious Leadership Group.
Conscious Leadership, yes.
Yeah. And they talk about the wisdom of emotions mm-hmm. quite a bit. And mm-hmm. the wisdom of anger is like what needs to be stopped or changed. Mm. And so oftentimes when I feel that anger, it's like, oh, what needs to change? And there's an element of like, yeah, we do have to get in the car. Mm-hmm. And then there's also deeper layers of this whole process needs to change. Mm-hmm. And then there's deeper layers of how am I relating to what's going on right now? Mm. All of it needs to change, but it's all an expression of anger, right? And so when I say that it can be a loving act, like I think about, one of the more primal experiences is I remember being at like the Boulder Creek Festival, one of these festivals here in town, and they were playing on a bounce house, and Forrest being like at the time the 3-year-old that he was, just like pushed a kid down, and I heard this mom yell at him, and I was like, hey, Forrest, what happened? He's like, he kind of had that like devilish toddler energy to
bounce house.
Right.
I mean, all rules
right.
go out the door.
So, yeah, totally. And said, well, Forrest, apologize, whatever. And the mom yelled again, and I could totally tell she was in a triggered state. That's totally cool. And I was like, hey, like, can you just not yell at him? And that was my way of like kind of like squeaking out this moment of like. And as that happened, there was a dad standing right next to her. Her partner was standing right next to him. And I could see the moment hit his brain. And then he was like, don't talk to my wife like that. And totally, totally. And I just sat in silence. I could feel everything bubbling up. And it must have taken me 3 hours to come back down. So I just felt like adrenaline, cortisol, like I could smell. I was like, what is happening? Just coursing through. And the reality is like, we're in these bodies. These things happen. Yeah. It's how it comes up. I think the myth of this all is that like, as a parent, you don't experience this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's so messy. Right. Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but the analogy that I love that I use often is being on like a hiking trail where if you're on a hiking trail, like you walk the trail, you walk the path. Sometimes I can catch myself trying to sweep the trail, being like, it's so dirty. And it's like, dude, it's dirt all the way down. It is. This is the trail.
Yeah.
It's messy. It's dirty.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to blaze a new trail.
Right.
And there's new obstacles.
Right.
Phew. I took my kiddos camping this past weekend for the first time with like camping with a 2.5-year-old and a 2-month-old.
Wow, 2-month-old came.
Insane. Yeah, wow. He was the best camper. The toddler was, in the end, amazing. But yeah, really like challenging to be out in nature.
Yeah. With
all of the things that she wants to explore. I want to just rewind just a brief moment to that interaction that you had with first this mother and then her partner. in the nervous system, a brief teaching moment too. There's something called neuroception. Have you heard of neuroception?
Mm-mm.
So it's this quality of, say, you're walking down the street and our nervous system is naturally scanning our environment for safety and signs of threat, right? So we're seeing people too. We're like, oh, like unconsciously mostly, because there's a lot just to be a human walking around. But neuroception, we're neurocepting like, oh, safety, threat. Ooh, with this sketch character across the street, I'm going to stay on this side. We don't vocalize or name all of these things, but they are happening. And I think there's this quality of neuroception that gets cranked up as parents. Right now we're scanning for safety and threat, but like with a lot at stake.
Yeah.
Right. So this, child getting pushed in a bounce house, for this mama, it might have been like, he might break his neck, like what, he was just assaulted. Like it's such a deeply triggering event. And so I'm curious, when all of that was moving through you, you get confronted by the husband.
Yeah.
What I heard what I felt is actually a little bit of freeze, that there was so much stimuli in your nervous system, the adrenaline and cortisol is now firing. And it's like, do I have to fight this guy right now? Do I take my kid and run the opposite direction? Or for this brief moment, do I need to just freeze?
Yeah.
What did happen for you? And
there was I felt the pings of fight, and it was like, hold. You're at Boulder Creek Festival, dude. Like there was the moment of like, I think what it was is, I'm going to make up a story here, but I feel like it was like you suddenly hear a child laughing in that weird inflation of the bounce house, and you're like, what is going on here, right? So there was a freeze, took 4 of us, walked away, we went, got face paint. But I do think what does come up there is there's a lot of this is like, am I willing to be with my kid's experience? Right. And we talk about this neuroception and this scanning. A lot of it is like protecting my child. And that's a beautiful built-in
mechanism
system.
Yeah.
Right. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But I will say as a parent, I find it can run haywire when it's no longer about my children. It's about me. I'm not willing to be with their sadness. I'm not willing to be with their fear. I'm not willing to be with their experience. And that there's just so many moments where, as a result of that, I am augmenting the moment.
Here, take a candy, have a chocolate.
Let's go get face paint.
Totally, let's go get face paint.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm unwilling to be with my own experience. I'm unwilling to be with yours.
Yeah.
And something I've thought about quite a bit is, I think back to my own experience, and I think back, and I feel very fortunate that I have so many friends who are older, have older children, maybe they're just becoming empty nesters, they're going off to college, whatever, high school. And I think about all my close calls in high school, all my close calls in college, that in the rear view, I was like, whoa, yeah, that was a wonderful experience, wonderful time, whether
precarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, just risky.
Yeah.
And didn't see it that way at the time, but you also can see how things, could have taken a different path, right? You're playing a game of probabilities that I probably wouldn't play today.
Yeah.
Right. And I think what's interesting is I think about how beautiful those experiences were, the adventures, the travels, the mistakes, the whatever, the sexual experiences, everything.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
Am I willing to let my kids have that?
Ooh, yeah.
Because I hope they do. And am I willing to be with that as a parent?
Pause. Exhale. Yeah. The fragility of life is so tangible with a little one. Like my little one took 3 big tumbles on our camping trip, drew blood twice. And my deepest fear is her getting like chronically injured or worse.
Right.
And life happens. I will not be there 100% of the time. I could not be. I don't want to be. And so for me, the lesson was, okay, you are going to get hurt, period. In this lifetime, you will. I myself, I broke about a dozen bones, like a lot.
Right.
Yeah, it will happen. But it's how we respond to that, right? And can I sit with, I think that's why it's important too, as men, as dads, that we have a growth mindset. We can be with our own discomfort so that we can be with the discomfort of others.
Yes.
And not just bypass and get to the next thing because we can't sit in that dis-ease for a few moments.
Yes. And this might seem idealistic in some ways, but I do believe that discomfort, a significant chunk of it, and I imagine all of it, but maybe not for me right now, a significant chunk of it can be transformed by simply recognizing that it is here for our learning. That the sadness is a reflection of all that we're letting go, all that we're grieving, and a reflection of how deeply we care and love.
Yeah.
And so in the moments of 4 hours of sleep, 3 cups of coffee, 2 p.m., running late, and groceries were left out on the counter, tough.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a recognition of maybe not the moment to expect yourself to be the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
But there is a recognition of the mess of life, and that there is a reality of, how did we create this? How can I learn from it? And how can I be with this in a different way that isn't as masochistic, hard, and mean? Cool.
Mm-hmm. And those lessons keep showing up. If you don't learn it one time, it will continue to reveal itself until you've got the message.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're in this window right now. Just, I guess, even further, I think so. Poppy, my daughter, is just about to be 9 months. And I think one of the hardest parts as a parenting unit is how many times you have to revise I think we got it now. They're sleeping through the night. No.
Yeah.
All right. It's gonna be 1 week. It's gonna be 4 week. It's just constantly reshuffling the deck.
Yeah.
And so even that element of impermanence and the constant change and having to respond to it, the idea that you think you have it now.
The only certainty is impermanence.
Right.
So again, a little Buddhism goes a long way with parenting.
Right.
Quick time check. How we doing?
49.
Sounds like a great moment to tap into clean power.
Oh, cool.
Words that came through in an exchange we had, and maybe in this moment it takes on a whole new meaning. But I think we've talked a good amount about what it means to be a dad, a leader of your household, a steward of emotions, both of holding them and of letting them emerge and flow. How does clean power come into the play here?
Yeah, there is a power in being a father, and I've noticed it feels dirty when it's a physical power. Yeah, I'm just going to pick you up and move you. I'm just going to put the toy up there. Right? There's a leverage.
Yeah.
And the power shows up in our relationship in what I can do and what you can't.
Power over.
Yeah. Power in relation to.
Yeah.
And clean power is the power of self. It's an inward experience. If we even want to map it on some of the concepts that have come up already, it's clean power is the being. It's the power of being versus the power of doing. Let me show you how I'm powerful.
Yeah.
Versus the power of this moment. And there's something so magical for all of the times that I fail, the seemingly infinite times that I fail in my relationship to my children and my wife. There is a joy, almost nearing rapture, that comes from a moment where I catch myself. And you could just see a fork in a road where you were about to go down a real brambly, dark path.
Yeah.
And you just shift it.
Yeah.
And that's clean power.
Pause. I feel that. There's in my head, I'm still, wrestling a little with like, okay, what is this? What's dirty power? What's clean power? How do I embody one or the other? But the moment you like let it land, that's clean power. When I pause and shift, I had one of those last night, and it was really felt for me. My kid might have no idea. They might. I think actually they do feel all the subtleties of like, I'm power over the pops that you want are on this top shelf. You can't have them. Versus like finding that really sweet moment where we come to an agreement of like, why now is not the best time to eat that popsicle. Because I slowed down enough and I got on her level and we connected and moved forward from that place. How do you personally, pause just enough to make the shift from dirty to clean power?
Yeah. I don't know. No, I think what emerges, right, is I don't know where it comes from, to be clear, right? Like, it's like, where's a thought come from? Like, I really don't know what comes forward, but what I will say is that when I surround myself with practices and reminders in my life, the more I pay attention to those things, the more it shows up, right? And so there's an element, I think, there is an environmental aspect of it, right? It's like you have the TV on, the kids are playing, and you're 4 beers deep. Yeah, it's probably not going to emerge there, right? So I think there's a recognition of how we're creating these environments that aren't suitable for that pause to be there. So yeah, there's an environmental aspect of cultivating my life in a way where it really is aligned to what I value. And having a bunch of practices in my life on a regular basis that put me in that space.
Let's just to inspire a listener right now who is maybe going through the tapes of their own life and the ways that maybe on a day-to-day they're not tapping into such clean power. What's one practice that you have that helps you to cultivate clean power, and one thing that you've consciously done in your environment, in your home, to be a steward of a cleaner space?
Yeah. So practice and environment. Yeah. So practice, if you don't have a meditation practice, I highly encourage it. That's something that's really important. I would also say, so everything we're talking about, if you haven't caught on to like how I think about or feel and experience things, like it's all about the experience. And this has taken me like decade plus to get to, like, coming back to this rational intellectual experience versus like what's here, what are we doing? Like, this is the felt experience of being a parent, a felt experience of living. Right. And so like I feel like that's recently come online in the past few years, like even with meditation of like, this isn't about getting to a certain feeling.
Or even ticking that box, like, okay, now I'm doing meditation.
Right.
Now all of a sudden everything else.
Right. And I my own experience, I feel like there's part of it that's required. Like there's a little bit of like, I'm going to check the box every day, and then something changes.
The behavior.
But I guess what we're talking about now and is really just like, if you've never had a meditation practice, try it for 30 days, see what happens. One of the things that I love is even just asking the question, what do I want? Or how can I create something else? So let's just say I'm having a moment and, I'm stressed out, I'm exhausted or something like that. And there's this moment of like magnet tiles not cleaned up. We want to clean them up. We want to get out the door, whatever. I literally will just consult ChatGPT and be like, here's the scene. I'm freaking out. What do you think? And at the very least, I don't think I've ever fully taken a recommendation, but it reminds me that there was more than one option, which was freak out.
Yeah. Or consciously Give me 3 options right now that don't involve me throwing these magnet tiles out the window.
Right. There's just space there. And, something that I personally do is something that's called like an energy audit. Because oftentimes we're in such a triggered reactive state throughout the day that by the time we get to our kids, most people are working a classic 9-to-5 job or have a structured work day. They're picking up their children from school, and then they're listening to some story that they don't want to listen to on the way home. And then they get home and then they have to make dinner. And it's like a lot of, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Right. And so one of the things I look at is, every day I look at my calendar, I look at the tasks that I'm going to do, and I just say energy up, energy sideways, energy neutral. And this is something I learned from the Conscious Leadership Group, just doing an energy audit.
Yeah.
And I could see before my day starts, all the things I've elected to that are going to drain my energy, all the things that are like the equivalent of doing my taxes. So it's like, I just did a job that I don't want to do all day, had meetings that I didn't want to be in all day. And then I go and get my children. This is not about my children.
Yeah.
I'm just in that space. Yeah. And so there's a wonderful sense of agency and responsibility that comes with seeing that, meditation's a huge part of this, being able to, you have the reactive tools like ChatGPT, and then you might have some proactive tools of just like looking at your calendar, looking at your to-do list. Are these energy creating or energy draining, or are they neutral? And how would I want to shift around those ones that are draining? Do I want to get rid of it, delegate it, do it in a different way? I'm
going to pause you for a moment there. Just the way you speak, the way you're intentional about how you go about your day, there is this quality of mastery, right? And intentionality. I think, again, that's a deeply personal thing. And so I'm curious, in your environment, whether it's, if you have a TV, where that TV is placed, or the way that you probably have, I feel like you have a diffuser of like essential oils in key quadrants of the house, or what is one thing that you've done with precision, with mastery and intentionality to make your home environment more, just more pleasant, more.
Yeah. It's funny you brought up TV. That was certainly the first thing that came to my mind. So first is that we have one TV and it's in the basement, and can't go in the basement. Like, we actually have like a little gate there because little ones and whatnot. But for us to watch TV, watch a movie is an intentional act. And we have movie night on Friday night. And it's Forrest's favorite time of the week. He is so excited. He's thinking about his movie on Saturday, like he's so pumped. So that's one, is making it, I feel like this is very like James Clear, or, insert habit formation or there's a million books on this, but make it hard to do the things that you don't want to do. Right. So I keep the ice cream in the basement.
All right, this is getting personal now.
Right.
All right.
I still eat it. No, but like these are elements where it's like, make it intentional, make it so that you have to go do the thing. Similar with phones, I've tried to make that as unattractive as possible. I thought I'd be more of a Luddite with that, but the realities of parenthood and society, I keep my smartphone. So I try to make that as unattractive as possible. Whether it's the grayscale, there's all the apps, but yeah, I would say electronics are a big one. And I would say one other thing that's really powerful for us is every Sunday night is when we basically do meal prep for the week. Dad grills, and it's like a full feast for the week. It's full veggies. I'm vegetarian. The rest of my family is not. So it'll be like salmon, chicken, whatever. And it's like full Costco haul that we put on the grill. And what's nice is we have this wonderful family dinner, and it looks so beautiful. And then
we're not gonna eat it. We're gonna portion it out.
Right. Well, I mean, if Forrest was like, give me all that broccoli, I'd be like, dude, go to town. And we call them superhero foods because he loves superheroes. And so you can have these other foods, but they're not superhero foods. And they don't make us feel like superheroes. And so that way, during the week, as much for our children, as much as it is for mom and dad, the default otherwise is ordering in, feeling like crap, spending money, feeling like behind the ball. versus being able to go in the fridge and have beautiful, nourishing food.
A breath for beautiful, nourishing food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And creating the space to make that an anchor
Right.
for your family, for starting the week.
Yeah.
Well, Jordy, I'm inspired. I've felt just throughout our conversation a depth of inquiry and vulnerability and authenticity. So as we put a bow on this, is there anything final on your heart that you'd like to share with me, with the listeners, with yourself?
Appreciate that invitation. Something that I think just that I feel really passionate about besides this whole consciousness fatherhood thing. So thank you. It's a fun topic for me, as I'm sure you know. I think that there's an obfuscation of what masculinity looks like, especially in the West. And I think it's beautiful for dads to be open, vulnerable, loving, sincere, sweet, kind, tender people. And it's my experience, the more it's like this camera lens. It's like a camera lens. And for me, the more I widen that, it goes in all directions. And so the more I'm able to tap into that tenderness, the deeper my strength goes, right? It's like as a tree, the deeper the roots, the farther the branches. And so just an invitation for fathers to open up to that. And the world needs more loving, caring, sweet, kind, strong, stable, grounded, rooted fathers.
Yeah.
Kids need to see you cry. Kids need to see you stand up.
Yeah.
All those things. And I think it's just, tell your kid you love them. And it's a beautiful thing.
Can do. That's my commitment. Moving forward, I will tell my children that I love them a dozen more times than I already do. But yeah, truly appreciate your time with us here today. If something in this transmission with Jordy and I touched you, definitely reach out. If there's topics that you're struggling with or areas that you'd like to go deeper with Jordy, with myself. Again, what my vision here too is that we're creating first a movement of fathers that are willing to show up with depth and width in the heart space that they can share with their families. But again, we don't have so many spaces to drop into that energetics as fathers. So we're creating a movement. We're starting here. So if you want to go deeper with this community, there will be ways to do that. And again, thank you so much for your time, your heart, and I love you.
I love you, man. Yeah. That was so fun. Thank you.
Welcome. You've been listening to the Peaceful Papa Podcast. May the wisdom you found here ripple into your being, your family, your community, and the world at large. I look forward to being with you again soon. See you on the next episode.